Now, if I was to try to paraphrase what you said, if say, for example, we took a soldier with PTSD, and this event happened, and they're feeling the symptoms of that, which is those three areas of the brain, and gone to extreme, that can mean you're having, every day can be difficult.
Yes.
And from what I understand from even our conversations before is that by going through the therapy and the MDMA therapy is that we can go back to that moment where it happened. And as opposed to in a normal conscious state, when you remember that, the panic comes back, you're there, the IED went off, your buddy's leg is flying through the air, your leg is gone, and you can never actually process it. Every time you go back there, you're unable to actually process it and move on. And so by doing this in this MDMA state, you're actually able, maybe for the first time, to actually see what happened and actually relive that and process that in some way to where maybe you can move forward. Is this a rough?
That's a great way to describe it. Okay. And not only that, though, that people's memories are enhanced for the trauma. Okay. So a lot of times the memories of the trauma are so painful that they become subconscious or unconscious, and we're influenced them, but we don't even have direct access to them. And so, for example, we worked with a firefighter who was in a building where the roof collapsed and 8 firefighters got killed. And so he remembered what had happened. And under MDMA, he had the realization that he had skipped this whole section in his memory of some of the worst parts of it that he had just blocked out completely. And he thought it went from here to here, but there was this whole part that... And so under MDMA, the memory comes up from the unconscious. He's able to sort of disentangle what's called episodic memory and emotional memory get linked together.
Okay.
But under MDMA, what's happening is we're changing the emotional tone, which is fear, from when it's really happening at the moment, to something that's been processed, been metabolized, and it's into the past, and you're able to look at it with a little bit of a sense of peace. And so it's also called, neuroscience is called fear extinction and memory reconsolidation. So the way memory works, it's distributed throughout the brain. You remember something, but it's not like taking a book off the shelf, reading it, and then sticking it back. You actually are like reprinting the book. You have to that's why sometimes people's memories change over time. You remember something and...
It's not like a computer file. It's like you kind of get a few details and then you recreate what happened on the day. And that's why Grandpa tells that story and you're like, but Grandpa, I was there and that's not really what happened. And it was different than the last time you told me.
Yeah. And so what we're, though, doing is trying to help people have a more accurate memory of the episode, but to replace the emotional tone. So when you reconsolidate the memory, you're reconsolidating it from a sense of peacefulness that the MDMA can give you and a sense that the episode happened in the past. It's not always about to happen again.
Okay.
So then when you've reconsolidated the memory in that way, the next time you remember it, you remember the episode, but you've switched out the emotional tone to it. And that's how you no longer have PTSD.